In this session, we'll be continuing towards graphing rational function, and we will be using the sign analysis to figure out the graph behavior around a vertical asymptote. And one of the ways to do it, there's a technique how to do it, and then one of the ways I'll teach you how to use critical numbers. So first, we will need to find so-called critical numbers. And that's the numbers that turn numerator and denominator into 0. So the numerator is x plus 1 equals to 0, and then denominator x minus 3 equals to 0. So the first equation, I need to solve for x, and it will be -1. And then the second one, x equals 3. So those two numbers, we'll call them critical numbers. So how you can use them? You will need a number line, and you will locate those numbers on a number line, so -1 and 3. So that those two numbers will break your number line into intervals. So the first interval will be from -infinity to -1, the second interval from -1 to 3, and then interval from 3 to infinity. So what you'll need to find out on those intervals, your function will have a positive or negative sign. So if your function will have a positive sign, then the graph will go above x-axis. If your function will have a negative sign, then the graph will go below x-axis. So to figure out the sign, I will use a test points for each interval. Test points. So for the first interval, I will use, let's say, -2. So x equals -2. What I will do, I'll plug it in instead of x and see what the sign will function have. So g of -2 equals -2 plus 1 over -2 minus 3. So will be -1 over -5, which is 1/5, which is positive, so the sign is plus. And this interval will be plus. Then second interval from -1 to 3, I'll use test point 0. So g of 0 equals, and I'll plug in 0 instead of x, will be 0 plus 1 over 0 minus 3 equals -1/3. So that on this interval will be minus, meaning that your function will go below x-axis. And then the third interval, I will use number 4 as a test point. So g of 4 equals, and I'll plug it in, 4 instead of x will be 4 plus 1 over 4 minus 3 equals 5 over 1, which is positive, so it's a plus. So on the first interval from -infinity to -1, your graph will be above x-axis. Then between -1 and 3, it's gonna go below x-axis, and then from 3 to infinity, it's gonna be above x-axis.